If you want to learn how to trade just like me, join the community, click the private Discord link, sign up through this membership level, and you will gain access to weekly group mentorship calls for free. Welcome back everyone, I hope you're all well. We're taking a look at Quant on the daily time frame at the moment. In yesterday's update, we were talking about the $75 target. Is that still happening? Make sure to check that video out if you haven't already. It'll be in the top right corner, or just go to yesterday's video. We also spoke about the $100 resistance. This is what's actually keeping that target valid. And if we were to ever break through the 200 EMA, we won't see those price levels again, simply because this point is the invalidation. And we've been talking about this level of $94 to $100 for the whole entire year. While we were above it, this was a great time to DCA, and we were suggesting that if we ever go below this point, we're going to meet our $84 target, which I showed in yesterday's update. And this was a target from all the way back in April that I was suggesting, and I was getting absolute hate from people saying $100 is not going to be lost. That's not a head and shoulders pattern, and we eventually met the target. What we now are seeing is, after the target being met, this rally, and we were calling for this rally to come up to $100, which was met in yesterday's daily candle. So nice to see this trade that we gave on the channel actually did play out. To keep that $75 target valid, we must remain below this $94 to $100 resistance. But as we've breached 94 and we're coming up to 100 right now, as we are at $99, with this lower end has now flipped into support, and then this higher end is still resistance. This is what we also mentioned in yesterday's update. We're just giving a brief summary. So really and truly, even if we get rejected right now over here, just need to fall back to these key levels, which I think in turn will create a bullish cross on the daily time frame, signaling that we're daily bullish. So we'll just wait for that to be confirmed as support, and then we have to break that 200 EMA and flip it to support and break the breakout high, and only then will we say, okay, now that $75 is completely invalidated. But you could just come to the moving averages here after rejecting the 200 EMA, do a dead cat bounce, lose the moving averages, and still eventually come down lower. While we are still beneath the 200 EMA, we still need to have that in the back of our minds, that this path down to 75 still remains valid. It's only if we break through this key level that we invalidate those targets. But yeah, hopefully you use this time wisely to catch some quant in around the $94 to $100 area, DCAing for the long term. We were actually saying that every time it comes down to here, we're going to be buying. That's what I was personally doing. And also that if we ever lost this area of support, that any price below $100 is a great long-term investment. This is why we're not just waiting for one exact price. We need to be spreading out our DCAs. So just knowing the top was 400, under 100 is just going to be bringing life-changing gains in the future. Are we about to invalidate further downside? Could that now be our bottom and we're onwards and upwards to our top of $400? What I still believe is that before April, we need to see a crash on Bitcoin, and that in turn would drag Quant down. In that time, Quant could come up. We just need to then, if we get back above $100, maintain above 94 to 100, and we won't see further downside. That would have been our deviation, where we've come down, broke back in, held its support, and then this was like a fake out to the downside. This is what we would suggest if the $100 area is just broken through like butter, and we hold its support and then break the breakout high. What breaks through the 200 EMA, basically, wherever that tops out. For me to get super duper confident, I need to see this $132 area being reclaimed. This is where we were calling a smaller head and shoulders pattern over here to $106, which we all profited on. And we had two occasions where we took that trade. And then we need to basically break out of here, as it was once a double bottom neckline. And I gave that double bottom trade as well for you guys. I also gave this small double bottom trade over here. So we've been profiting along very nicely over the past year. We're just now simply waiting for whether we do come down to the range low, because as you can see, we were finding some support over here. This was our top. We came all the way back down to there. So if we ever get below this point, which is 108 or 112, and then also lose $100, this would have been the lowest point of the range. But we can see over here, going to the left, we might have been finding support on this resistance, on this support, on this support as well, and then yeah, with that wick as well. It was also the head and shoulders target over here, so that's why we're seeing this reversal. This is what happens when we meet targets, and we had a CME gap at 35k, which we'd consider a target, and that has now been met. So we're waiting to see if that holds as resistance, because if Bitcoin holds as resistance at the CME gap of 35k, it could be performing like this Wyckoff schematic over here. I do urge you guys to always follow along with my Bitcoin updates. Not enough people do watch them, and it's the most important chart. It doesn't matter if you don't own any Bitcoin. It controls the entire market. So if we know what Bitcoin is about to do, then we would know what the rest is going to do. So if this is in this area right now where we do start to come down lower, Quant is in that perfect location right now for rejection, as we know that while holding below $100, we're keeping these lower targets valid. So if Bitcoin does start to flash some bearish signals, so go check out that Bitcoin video and then follow the Bitcoin chart, and if those signals start flashing for some sells or some shorts, then we're in that perfect location for Quant right now. As we can see in the past, if we're holding below the 200 EMA, we always continue lower. Look at that low being lost. So that is what could happen over here. Essentially, if we are continuing in this downtrend, this is going to be the top of the downtrend, and then we will eventually lose this low and head to the next target over here. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below right now. Do you think we will reclaim $100 and flip it into support, or are we going to keep this bearish path valid? Again, guys, we've got 6 months until the halving, pretty much. And when we look into the historical data of the Bitcoin halvings, we do tend to see a dump. And if we're looking at Bitcoin from the start of this year, we've pretty much, which is circled over here, pretty much just been in this uptrend over here. So will we now start to see a dump from this area, which is the CME gap right over here, huge area of resistance, and the halving is right here marked as the 1st of April. It's not on the 1st of April. Please correct me what date it actually is. I can't find it anywhere at the moment. I haven't really dived deep into looking into it properly, like the specific date, but I just know it's coming up in April. And as we can see, we've only really had like a sideways correction over here, so still waiting to see if we are following that Wyckoff schematic with the higher highs and the higher lows over here. And we're seeing that right now, higher highs and then higher lows, and then this could all be a deviation just to fill in the CME gap to eventually come down lower and fill this lower CME gap. That would definitely be Quant meeting those targets to the downside. It probably would even go lower at that point. So for those that were waiting for 60, they might get lucky. But I'm not waiting on any one price to go crazy and buy loads of Quant. It's just that any price, you need to take advantage of these prices below $100. While we were above it, we could see that 94 to 100 was support. So every single time it came into this area, every single occasion when it came into this area, I was buying. And then as soon as it was losing, yeah, this is the area to, of course, buy. If it then comes down, we have orders set here as well. If it ever comes down lower, we have orders set lower as well. But we're not just waiting for one price to buy everything. We're just constantly DCAing at those understanding that in the future, we're going to only wish for these prices again when we're up at $1,000, $1,000 plus $2,000. You're only going to wish you could have bought around $100 or below $100. So we need to be using this time wisely to accumulate, but not going crazy, because again, we haven't really invalidated the bearish path to the downside, where we could be coming down lower. So again, let me know in the comment section below what you think is going to play out. Will we now reclaim the 200 EMA and flip this downtrend that we see over here? As long as we're holding below the 200, we always continue lower. Are we now just doing that and continuing lower, or do you think we are able to push through right now? That would need Bitcoin to also push through that CME gap of 35k, so we need to see a huge bullish move at a resistance. So for me, it's most likely that we get a rejection over there. And look where Quant is right now, we're getting this rejection. So where Quant would now need to hold support, make sure you like the video to find out. No, joking. Make sure you like the video, though. It does help grow the channel. We're on the road to 7k. So I really appreciate if you can get the comments in, share the video if you can. And so where we now need to find support is the $94 wick, but on a technicality, we have the moving averages here, almost forming a bullish cross. So you just need to hold those moving averages, the 20 being at, let's just say, $91, my apologies. So if we can come down now, hold $91, break the 200 EMA, flip into support, then we're invalidating that bearish scenario. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you want to get educated I've got a few days left on my course discount if you want to grab it for £100, sorry, £100. And yeah, just use the links in the description below. You can also get free mentorship sessions as a group if you join my Discord community. So any further questions, reach out to me on Twitter or head over to the link tree where you'll find all the links that you need. Cheers, guys. If any of you are interested in learning how to trade just like me, there's multiple options. Click this ebook. It covers all the strategies that I use in these YouTube updates. So you will have all the same skills, covers the Japanese candlestick, chart patterns, support and resistance, why I use EMAs over trend lines, Fibonacci's, divergences, and again, using these all together to profit using them. I've also got a discount on my course at the moment, which ends at the end of this month. So that's down to £100. You also gain free access to my Discord community for the next 3 months, where you can expect to be a part of 12 to 24 group mentorship calls. If you want something that's a bit more personalized to your needs, then join my one-to-one mentorship plan. You can choose 5 or 10 hours of my one-to-one help, and included will be the 3 months free in the community, as well as my 6-hour long video course.